What if Deku had a half and half Quirk? Part 5. Where I left off, they just finished the finals for UA. So, now they're going to the training camp. Since they're going to the training camp, they get on the bus, they do all that shopping trip stuff, except Shigaraki never has attacked Deku. Because Deku, I'm not sure, but I think he destroyed the Nomu, so Shigaraki doesn't want to, deal with that kid. So, Deku and them go to their training camp, and once they get off the bus, they fall down into the Beast Forest. Deku, being Deku, turned on his angelic demon form, which has wings, so he just flew to the training camp. So, 5 hours later, his classmates arrive, and they're all like, why? They're all like, what the heck, Deku? You didn't have to leave us there. That's when Deku's like, well, it's your fault. You guys should have just ran around them. I mean, I flew above them, so it should have been easy. As they go and eat dinner. So, in the next 5 days, they do constant training. Now, this training is basically just trying to work on your quirks. So Deku basically has to train in his angelic demon form as long as he can. So he keeps pushing himself to the point where he's about to pass out, but doesn't pass out. So he just has to keep pushing himself. So there's 4 days of that until the final day when they go out for them to try and scare, or 1B has to try and scare 1A. So, so they go out, and Deku's like, I wonder where Koda is, as he just starts walking away from the zone when he goes to find the cliff and sees Muscular there. And Deku's like, what are you doing? This Muscular's like, oh, it's just a brat. I was told. Do you happen to know where Izuku, Midoriya, and Katsuki Bakugo might be? He's like, why the hell do you want to know? And he's like, oh, boss wants them. And Deku's like, well, I'm going to have to stop you then, because I'm not going to let you hurt my friends. As Deku goes angelic demon form, as on the last day, he decided not to do angelic demon form. As just a cooldown day, he decided only to do his push-ups and stuff, which is now 100,000 each. So he's now at inhumane levels of strength. His punches are 50% of All Might's punches. He's strength. So he could beat Muscular with the flick of his wrist. But where's the fun in that? As Muscular charges right at Deku, Deku's just staring at him as he goes angelic demon, taking his Demon Slayer sword and just slashes it right on top of his head as his muscles just start fading. And Deku takes his demon there's the Demon Slayer sword and the 2 other ones. I'm not sure. As Deku takes his light sword and just points it right at Muscular's neck. He says, move any bit and you die. Muscular puts muscles around it, only for Deku to shove the light sword right into into it at the exact same time the Demon Slayer sword hits the muscles, which deactivates his quirk, making it so it pierces his neck, killing him instantly. Or not instantly, but it pierces his neck, causing him to start to suffocate. So, Deku walks back to Koda and asks if he was alright, as Deku goes into his angelic demon form and tells him to grab on as he flies to Aizawa, putting Koda down. And Aizawa's like, why are you here? And he's like, villains are attacking. I just beat one who's trying to kill Koda. As Deku runs back into the forest, seeing a massive blue fire. As Deku's running there, he notices Toga is charging at, I believe it was Asui and Ochaka. Deku, seeing this, pushes his speed as he takes his Demon Slayer sword and just smashes the flat side against it to the side of her head, sending her into a tree, splattering blood everywhere. And Uraka and Sue are just like, what the hell? As Deku says, grab on, I'm taking you guys back to camp where the pro heroes are. As Deku does this, and once they get there, he sees Magni and Spinner. Deku's like, this should be easy. As Deku does two swords, he does a sword style thing. He's like, I saw this on One Piece. 2 sword style. I don't remember the One Piece moves that Zoro uses, but I watch One Piece. Just don't remember the moves. As Deku yells, 2 sword style. Making something up. 1,000,000 cuts. I think that's a 7 Deadly Sins move. As he says this, both Spitter and Magni, just a bunch of blood rockets out of them, and he's like, they should be knocked out for at least a couple days from blood loss. They'll eventually die if not kept in 2 hours, so I suggest you call the police. As Deku starts flying off, finding a bunch of Class 1A and 1B students completely knocked out. And he sees a mustard gas guy as he charges at him, putting a face, a mask, blocking his nose and mouth with dark and light energy. Deku charges at him, takes a dark demon claw and just breaks his gas mask, knocking him out. Deku takes all the knocked out people and just brings them back to Aizawa. And now I'd say the only people that are left is the Todoroki, Bakugo, and Tokiyami. With as Deku arrives there, he sees that Bakugo and Tokiyami are inside marbles, and he's like, hey, what the heck are you guys doing with my classmate? Deku throws a dart of demon energy right into the marbles, cracking them and breaking them. As Deku goes and grabs both of Tokiyami and Bakugo's hands and chucks them behind him so he can deal with the villains. Deku is like, what the hell are you guys doing? His Todoroki sends a wave of ice straight at Mr. Compress, knocking him out. As he sees that Dabi's about to send flames, but Deku hits him with his sword, only to be sent back by Kirigiri. Sent back by Kirigiri, and then Kirigiri taking Bakugo with Dabi and Mr. Compress, the only 2 left that were able to escape, meaning Toga, Magni, and Spinner all get captured in Mustard, but he already got captured, I think. So Deku walks back, like he's like, damn it, I couldn't save my own classmate. As Deku just starts walking back, all the classmates are like, wait, where's Bakugo? Deku's like, they took them. They took him. As they're all like, what? So 2 weeks pass, and they're planning on going to find Bakugo. And Deku being Deku, they give him a temporary hero license, mainly because, well, they give him a temporary hero license, mainly just because, like, he beat All Might with weights on, so that pretty much means he could beat Endeavor, pretty much. So they want him there. And just to mention, his full potential, angelic demon form, is way stronger than All Might. Just saying. So, once they arrive, All Might bashes the door open and says, pizza delivery. I think that's what he says. I'm not actually sure. But he busts down the door as Kimono Woods takes all of the heroes hostage. You guys know what happens. And now All Might is brawling it out with All For One, as Deku takes Bakugo and throws him to where he saw all of his other classmates, where they pick him up and just start running the other way. As Deku just stares, as Deku just watches All Might, Deku starts watching All Might try and beat All For One, only for All Might to get closed off in a building, like, so he can't really get up. So he's pretty much out of the fight for a little while. And that's when Endeavor comes charging in. Now, I'm doing something pretty much just like Star Wars The Phantom Menace with Qui-Gon Jinn. Not sure if you guys know it, but I mean, I'm going to pretty much do it. So, Endeavor comes rushing in, but Deku, being Deku, charges in before him in his angelic demon form, getting a few good hits on him, only to be sent back into a building pretty close to where All Might is. So he's pretty much out of the fight. He's sidelined, just like how All Might is, for maybe a little while. But Deku can still see the fight. As Deku's watching the fight with his father, Endeavor, and Todoroki's also watching. But Todoroki's watching on the big screen, like, outside. Is Deku... As Deku's watching, or as Todoroki's watching and Deku also watching, they see Endeavor also getting a few good hits on him, even sending a massive Hellblaze right at him. Only, like, where he sends a massive thing of flames, while All For One sends a massive thing of electricity. Like, and they're clashing with, like, swords. Only for All For One to push Endeavor's fire sword up and stab him in the gut with his electric sword. So cringy. It's like the biggest reference that I could to Star Wars in this series. Like, where he stabs him right through the gut as he falls to the floor. Both Deku and Todoroki yell, "No!" But Deku, like, Todoroki still had a heart for his father. Like, he knew that his father was hard on him, mainly to like give him more strength. Well, Deku is like, no! Kind of like how Obi-Wan was when it happened to Qui-Gon Jinn. As Deku, full of hatred, gets consumed by a massive orb of swirling light and darkness. As Deku's eyes radiate blood red, like they're shining blood red. As Deku now, as like the massive amount of power just shakes the entire planet. As all everyone's like, what? This power, what is it? As Deku just looks at him and says, my full potential. As Deku just charges right at All for One, making a claw out of, making dual-bladed swords, which I don't know how that'd work, but one side of this, there's a hilt, one side has a sword, the other side has a sword, and he has two of those. As he goes in, he just dual wields two random swords, as he makes one of them flow with darkness, as the other one flows with light. As Deku yells, full potential, ultimate move, dark and light combining wave, as he crosses the blades, making an X shape, as a massive wave of dark and light just consume All for One. And when it clears, they see nothing else but his helmet. As Deku walks to the helmet and just puts a hand on it before passing out. As he now unlocked full potential, which was 100% of his power. So he still is unstable. Next time I'm going to next part, which will be on Wednesday, I will explain more on Deku's full potential. See you guys. Bye.